Hi, this is Christopher Bruza. Welcome back. Today, I'm here to give you a short review rundown of a Intro to Defensive Shotgun course that I took at Fieldcraft Survival in Aberdeen, North Carolina. Aberdeen is down near Fayetteville, which makes sense. It's about a 2-hour drive from Raleigh, where I live. Didn't want to take the course alone. And I have a good shooting friend who has no experience with shotguns, but he has lots of experience with other stuff. So I said, hey, take the course with me. I will lend you a shotgun, my Terran Tactical Benelli M2. I'll provide the ammo. You just pay the course registration and we'll go have some fun. He did, learned a lot, went home, bought a shotgun, and now he's into shotguns. Kind of my point, but it gave me a friend to take the class with. Fieldcraft Survival has a classroom. It's a classroom, another classroom, some offices, and a nice little showroom where you can buy stuff. So the course was run by Jerry Young, who is former law enforcement. He taught shotgun for law enforement entities, I believe federal law enforcement, and so on. Kevin Estella was helping out. Probably needs no introduction. He's a big name in the fieldcraft and martial arts. Solid dude. Amazing pistol shot. They also had their multimedia person there who was also taking the course but documenting the course, kind of doing some exercises but also flying drones and taking pictures. All we know is his name is John. He actually owned the range that we went to. Super cool dude. Like, I would love to share a beer with that guy. He was fucking awesome. Those were the three people running the course. Primarily Kevin and Jerry, and John was helping out. You saw, I have a video on the Vancomp 764, the standard. John was actually running the 764 standard, but with Magpul furniture and a red dot on it. And it performed well. So the morning was in the classroom. And they started off by doing the Pledge of Allegiance. Very nice touch. Ran through gun safety rules, don't point this at anybody. Gun safety rules are needed no matter how advanced or how basic the class is. It's something you need to know and have drilled into you no matter if you've been around for guns 80 years every single day of your damn life. Never relax on gun safety rules. So shotguns were in the classroom. We were allowed to bring carry pistols in, so you could bring your carry pistol, which obviously doesn't use shotgun ammo, so they checked us, no shotgun ammo allowed. They started off talking about the different types of shotguns: pump, single barrel, double barrel, semi-auto, advantages, disadvantages, things like that. Very basic. Because you had people who had been shooting shotguns their whole life. You had law enforcement who'd been using them for their job. You had military who had been using them as breaching guns. People had been hunting, and several people who had never used a shotgun. They did specify, make sure your gun works with the ammo you bring to the course. If they tell you to do that, make sure you do that. So the ammo we had to bring was buckshot, double aught or triple aught, no number 4, slugs, and birdshot number 8 or 9. I didn't have any, so I had to buy 8 and 9 birdshot. I usually have like 6 through 7 birdshot, but we're shooting steel, and I think the minimum we shot steel was 15 yards, and they didn't want ricochets, especially if you have a line of people shooting shotguns. So smaller birdshot made sense. Then they went through the types of ammunition and why you would use certain types of ammunition. And I mean, that's pretty obvious if you know shotguns, but later in the afternoon, they actually drove that point home by doing a test out on the range. There was a interior wall, a silhouette target, interior wall, silhouette target, and then a exterior wall that they set up, and they shot a pistol through it, AR-15, birdshot, buckshot, and slug through it. That was interesting. I've seen it before, but it drove the point home. The other point that was really driven home, being that the course was run by Jerry Young. He spent many years in law enforcement, and as he always said, I grabbed a shotgun, not the AR-15. There were some very graphic images shown as to what shotguns do to people. You don't want to be on the receiving end. Whether it's negligent or intentional, shotguns are devastating. The PowerPoint slides and stuff, we kind of breezed through them, but they need to be done. After that, shotgun's empty, no ammo in the room. We were practicing different shooting positions, ready, getting down into a shooting position, up, checking, your 6, your 9, 12, stuff like that. Basically, for precision rifle, I would call it dry practice, running a stage, dry practice. Most of the guns, because people are probably curious, there were 2 Benelli M2s. Mine, I love the M2. It's my gun, my go-to. I've mentioned this before. I've had the M4. The Benelli M2 is where it's at. There were 3 Benelli M4s. I saw 2 of those 3 have malfunctions. That's excluding the weight and ergonomics of the gun. But yeah, 2 of the 3 had malfunctions. There was a semi-auto Mossberg. I don't know what model. That had no issues. A bunch of pump guns. Mossberg 500s, Mossberg 590s, Mossberg 590 A1s, and Remington 870s. Both new and old production. The guns were sometimes completely tricked out, sometimes completely stock. I think just about everything had a light and side saddle on it, but some had heat shields and grips and red dots, whatever. So there's a variety of guns. And I wanted to test my gun, and I saw several malfunctions. None with my gun. Put a ton of rounds through it. I was worried about the light coming off, the light mount, dead solid. The red dot held 0. Amazing. Obviously, ghost rings held it. Scalar works. Mount, not an issue. Put a ton of rounds through it. This is a, let me wipe it off there. Still pretty gummed up. The actual bolt on this is nickel plated, but it looks black. After the course, we put a ton of rounds through these things. My S-Tac side carriers worked beautifully. They will start dropping rounds slowly as you're shooting them. But on the range, the main thing we learned was top up your gun. Keep topping up your gun. These guns are always empty. All you're doing is loading. And that's what most of our course involved. We started by patterning 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 yards buckshot, because you need to know what your gun does at that distance, especially if you are shooting at a target shaped like a silhouette that has flesh and blood inside of it. So 5 yards, the instructors will go around, circle, this pattern's good, it's about this size, so know that, know your gun shapes vertically, sideways, your gun has a thrower out on the side. This thing shot like a rifle. And there was one other gun, it was a pump of some type, I don't remember what it was, but at 5 and 10 yards, they're like, with the other guy, they're like, are you shooting slugs? Because I can't see anything. And they got down to mine, they're like, what's going on? I'm like, it's flight control. They're like, okay. Being a short barrel is going to open way up. It's going to open up next. It's, you're going to be shooting the whole damn berm 10 yards from now. Okay. But it shot tight. And this was the best patterning shotgun of the group. Even down 30 yards, I didn't keep all the pellets on the silhouette, but I'm pretty sure at 20 this thing was good. It's like a rifle. And Kevin said, I thought this was going to be a disaster. I see a short barrel shotgun, not even a 14-inch, a 13-inch shotgun, and I thought this was going to be a disaster, and this thing patterns great. I don't know. I mean, Blood Feather Precision in Roanoke Rapids cut down my barrel for me. Jamie does amazing work on primarily precision rifles, but he did this for me. If you want a shotgun barrel cut down, I will put his email in the description below. But I mean, Jamie's one of my best friends, one of the coolest people on earth. If you need work, contact him. Anyway, so going back to the course, every course, no matter how basic it is, you learn stuff. Like people are like, oh, I don't want to take an intro to precision rifle because I've been shooting precision rifles for years. I finish in the top 3. I've finished in the top 3 in precision rifle. Awesome. Still stuff to learn. So a couple of things I learned. My sling has always been adjusted improperly. I thought it was right for me. Jerry showed me how to adjust it properly. It's a lot longer than I thought I needed it, and it works way better. Way better. I have it tied up with Ranger bands. You just give it a tug and it pulls out. But he corrected that. And the other thing that I learned, the other major thing I learned, these are all dummy rounds, but my side saddle, all the brass is pointing down. If you've seen previous videos, I have my slugs pointing up, my brass pointing down. The whole purpose of the course is basically feeding that shotgun, feeding that shotgun, and is primarily done from the side saddle. And yes, an S-Tac does slightly drop shells as you keep shooting. But if you're shooting, you're always feeding that gun, whether it's empty or not. You take a shot. If you have a second, you're putting more in there. So most of the drills were based on feeding your gun. Whether it's changing out, you're shooting birdshot at steel, bang, they want you to shoot a slug. You gotta eject that birdshot out, throw a slug in, get it, slug on target, back to birdshot. And there was a lot of emphasis on bolt open empty reloads. And they did this thing, which was a competition where you had two people, or two lines, I guess, and bolt open, whether it's semi-auto, pump, whatever. And actually, the pumps did pretty well on this. Side saddle, full, whatever. You could even put rounds in your hands, whatever you want. You got 5 shots on target, but you can only load one at a time. So, bolt open, throw one in the chamber, boom, hit the target, eject it, throw another one in, boom, 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 and then you go back to the back of the line. And we did that a few times to get familiar with reloading the gun from empty. And what I learned, and part of the technique they taught, was how to pull a shell out of your side saddle, which seems very simple, but there are specific intricacies of it which make it way quicker and easier to reload and make it harder to drop around on the ground. So what I found is all my shells down, whether they're slugs, birdshot, just remember your slugs are in the front, and if you grab a slug instead of, I say birdshot, buckshot, whatever. We were shooting a lot of birdshot in the course because of the steel. So whatever. Even if you grab the wrong thing, it's still going to go down range and hit somewhere near your target. But one, I have a red dot on top. The way I have big hands, it just worked way better with my hands. And my bolt release here, so if I'm coming under, throwing this in, hitting my bolt release, and I'm not quick enough to pull my fingers away, or I don't pull all my fingers away, I hit this bolt knob. So, by the way, that was a dummy round I just put in. They say dummy on them. I'm actually loading a gun here live on the tube. So having my hand under as opposed to on top was way quicker and produced less malfunctions. I do need to add a oversized bolt release there. Something I kind of thought was a luxury before taking this course. I didn't realize how often you're manipulating that. So that's one change I'll be doing when I get to the mill up at Blood Feather Precision. So that was one of the things I learned. I'm sure I learned a ton of things, but those were like the two big takeaways: my sling, the way I put the stuff in the side saddle, and the way I'm manually loading. Red dot, function great. Flashlight, amazing. Having the backup ghost strings, definitely the way to go. There were several guns that did not have backup sights. Probably fine, but I found target acquisition very quick with this. Just a great all-around course. I see they have one July 22nd in Aberdeen, North Carolina, and I know they're doing more around the country, I'd highly suggest taking it. No matter what type of gun you have, what sort of experience you have, if you think you are too good for an advanced course, you probably are, but you're still going to get something out of it. After the course, we talked about what we want to see more from, because this was the first or second one they had offered. We want to see intermediate and advanced courses, which I believe that they will be doing. I actually kind of have been contemplating taking it with a pump gun, just to see how it goes. But anyway, get out and train. I appreciate everybody watching. I am very close to the 1,000 subscriber mark. I've been going through actually making this a legitimate business, so I would very much appreciate everybody watching to subscribe, like, and comment. It helps out immensely with the YouTube algorithms. So until next time, thank you and enjoy.